managed to convince my parents on my 8th birthday that I wanted to be a king for the day, and I milked every minute of that. At the end, I found myself sitting at the dining room table with my mother and my brother, staring at this ice cream cake that was melting, waiting for my father. At that time, it wasn't uncommon for my dad to get into flow with his meditation and writing, and nothing could take precedence over that. So we waited. My father, born and raised in Belgium, at a very young age decided he wanted to be a priest, a Jesuit Catholic priest. He made his way to Taiwan as a missionary and fell in love with his Chinese teacher. And I can only imagine his passion for her as he renounced his priesthood to marry my mother. His deep-rooted yearning for seeking meaning didn't end. His devotion continued as he learned everything about Asian thought, Buddhism, philosophy. He even went as far as learning Sanskrit so he could learn the original texts. Don't get me wrong, as a kid, we had amazing experiences. From taking the Trans-Siberian train from China through Mongolia into Russia, to spending months camping on the West Coast, to snorkeling off of the remote islands of Malaysia. But even through all of that, I felt there was a void of acceptance, perhaps. The hours that my father spent in the attic writing his book and meditating, the whispers of his voice in the morning chanting mantras. His search was on, and the little boy inside of me was not and did not know the answer. As a son of a diplomat, I was yanked from one country to the next, from one culture to the next, from one school to the next. By the time I was 13 years old, I had sex, I knew how to drink, I smoked opium in the jungles of Chiang Mai. And as my father reined me in, I lashed out even more. I remember one night, I was sitting in front of my piano, playing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, drenched in passion with tears flowing down my ears, and I was dreaming. I dreamt of becoming a famous concert pianist. I dreamt of becoming a stockbroker on Wall Street. I dreamt of pursuing the American dream. And that day finally came as I landed in America. And I thought I could conquer the world. But what I didn't realize was that validation and approval does not come with freedom. As a transfer student, my first semester's GPA was 0.25. I was a lost puppy, barking up the wrong trees for many years to come. Until finally, something clicked. It's as if everything in my past started making sense, all the way down to my mother's ability to walk into any room and be instantly loved by anybody she touched. I would find myself in a corner of parties discussing with people the subtle nuances of body language depending on what culture they came from. To world religions, how world religions have so much similarity that if all we did was embrace the differences, we'd realize we're all seeking for the same thing, as if my father was sitting in that room. As I would converse with people, I would find myself that I would morph into them, all the way down to the ways their fingers moved, to their accents. Initially, was to gain a sense of belonging. And then it was to see how quickly I could get into their hearts. And then it was to see how I could quickly share emotions and tears for them to be seen for who they are. In all those years of not understanding my father, I finally came to my own validation and purpose. I exist to help others be seen and validated and understood for their purpose. Just like the eve of my 8th birthday, I value those moments of flow and inspiration because my search for meaning is on. Some say that before you come into this planet, you get to choose your parents. If that is true, I chose well. Thank you.